Hello and welcome to the show. Now, when it comes to autocross, small, light and agile cars are the kind of vehicle that you tend to want, and, well, muscle cars, whether they be American muscle cars or in this case, Australian muscle cars, not exactly fit that bill. However, they do tend to have one thing going for them. They can get some ginormous tyres and they can tend to have a hell of a lot of traction, whereas things like the Escort that went out last time slithered around and were a little bit terrifying to drive. These muscle cars, while maybe being a bit heavier, do tend to be that bit more planted, and that means they can actually go quite quickly. So this Ford Falcon might actually throw up a impressive time. I would like it to. I'm a big fan of the Australian muscle car, so I would love to see the Falcon set out an impressive time. We're going to start by upgrading the tyres. 255s on the front. Actually, not too bad on the front of one of these cars. We only do get 295s on the back. I think I'd actually... you'll see various bits of this have been bought. I did consider running this in the last versus the communities. That's why I got various parts purchased already. 295s on the rear, not as large as we have seen certainly from some muscle cars. 345 is kind of what you're looking for ideally, but that is still going to be better than we got from the likes of the Escort, so it might not be too bad in terms of traction. Let's focus on the rest of these handling parts. The weight wise, while yes it is going to be heavier, it's also not going to be the worst, I don't think, in terms of weight, with the full race weight reduction down to 2,639 pounds. Now this will perhaps go up a little bit. We are going to want the roll cage as per usual for the rest of these handling parts. I'm also thinking that with a bit of something like the exhaust, we can add on. That'll take some weight out of the car. We're probably going to be sticking with the standard engine. I can't see that we're going to need to go up to the alternate. There are the kind of expected alternate engines pretty much in this vehicle. You can get the 7-litre Hemi or the 5.9-litre V8 racing engine. Both of them are heavier alternatives than the standard one, and we're going to be able to get the power out of it. Now the question is, do I go for a supercharger? We shall see. I think we'll see how we're doing. Oh, while I'm up this end, we shall go and add. We shall just extend the front lip down ever so slightly. Yeah, that'll do. And as far as wings go, we'll just get no crazy wings on this car. Bonnet, we may, if we need to make up a PI, may get one of those. Right, how much horsepower? That's going to be the question here. How much horsepower are we going, and torque as well, are we going to be getting out of this Falcon? It's going to be... it could well be in the region of 600. It wouldn't surprise me. I think we might have to go. For a supercharger in this car. Let's see what we can do with the... it is going to be sort of very much pushing the top of, or getting to the top of A-class with the car naturally aspirated, although it will save it a little bit of weight going for naturally aspirated rather than sticking a supercharger on top. Come on, game. I've already got these parts bought. It shouldn't be too hard to install them, did I? I did put that on there. Yeah, we might have to go. I think we will have to go for a supercharger. That's okay by me. I'd rather go for a... Oops, not engine swap. I'd rather go for a supercharger as opposed to a turbocharger for this kind of a build. While turbo and sort of turbo lag hasn't really been too much of a problem on the most part for vehicles around here. Again, while, yes, if you're in the wrong gear at the wrong time, you can get in trouble with it, but I'm in a race circuit. You know, I'm going to be in a good gear for racing, so it hasn't proved to be too much of an issue. If I have the option, I'll probably tend to stick with a supercharger. Now, gearbox, we may possibly... Let's just have a look. Like I say, the standard gearbox in this car, I don't quite know. Yeah, okay, so standard gearbox is likely to have very, very short gears, so I'm thinking we'll go for the street transmission. It sorts out, hopefully, any gearing issues, but it doesn't add anywhere near as much PI as these other ones. We will probably... I mean, we don't want to go into cooler oil and cooling particularly. We could go for another 7 horsepower on top of what we have here, or we could go for flywheel and driveline. I might go for flywheel and driveline in this car. I think power is going to be a plentiful, so for this sort of couple of PI, we will go for this combination of bits, and we will go for a diff as well. Otherwise, we will. I actually don't know. We might have a one-tyre fire if we leave it with the standard diff. It might not be. No, I don't think we'll actually. I think that's got a slightly better diff than the other muscle cars that I have messed about with in the past. Shall we have a look if we can get the bonnet on? We cannot. Okay. There we go then. That will be our Falcon ready to go. Whoopsie, I didn't mean to press that button. For some reason, despite the fact I've played this game for however long, I'm still pressing Y to cycle through these options by accident. 524 torque, 523 horsepower. So, yeah, it's not quite the most powerful, but plenty of power and torque in this. Weight, 2,700 pounds, isn't terrible. So decent power to weight ratio. With some decent sized tyres, I'm hoping we might have enough traction to make the most of the power and torque here. If not, we could be about as sideways as the Escort. Of course, to test out our vehicle, we have come to the Hockenheim circuit. For whatever reason, the livery has changed itself. I don't quite know why that is. However, either way, we're going to take the Falcon around this circuit. It's going to get 3 runs through the Autocross course in an attempt to go as fast as possible. Now, our leaders, Lamborghini Miura, Porsche 914, that are into the 203s are probably not going to be particularly worried about the Falcon. I doubt we're going to have the speed, really, to challenge them cars. It could potentially throw up some, I think, sort of a little bit of upset. We might see it go into the 20, maybe 206s might be pushing our luck. It will all come down to how well it responds to having this much power. If we have got the grip and the traction to go with it, then it could be pretty rapid around here. Ooh, we have got some understeer to be worrying about. So the good news is that we can get to full throttle, no problem. Absolutely no problem in this car. We will get to full throttle without tremendous levels of wheel spin, but we do struggle slightly with turning. That's perhaps to be expected. That's kind of what you expect with this kind of vehicle. It's whether I can, we have clipped a gate on this run here, but it's whether I can make up enough time with this initial acceleration to compensate for the slight lack of turn-in. I think it might be possible. This thing is really rocketing along quite nicely, 118 miles an hour. A little bit late on the brakes, so a little scruffy, yeah, quite scruffy actually, through that section. It's looking pretty promising, actually, but we don't have the massively oversized, they're pretty damn giant rear tyres. We don't have quite the largest of rear tyres. They are still doing well, I think. Also, these slightly longer gear ratios are helping. I've got it all sorts of out of shape through there. We can slide it if you're a real moron. You can get it sliding, but it's nowhere near as snappy and twitchy as we saw with the Escort last time out. Come on, car, behave yourself around here. Ooh, that was running a little bit close to the tunnel. Try and get it turned into the hairpin. It won't like this corner particularly. Oh, okay, I've done it wrong. I was trying to be a little too brave. Oh, we've done all sorts of scruffy driving. I do apologise on this first run. Good thing it's only a practice run, really. Yeah, that was just a slight misplacing of the vehicle. Well, the good news in all of this, I'm pleased with the levels of traction. You can get it oversteering, but considering 500 horsepower, 500 plus horsepower and torque, pretty good in terms of not oversteering too much. Just got to be aware that we don't have that much in the way of initial turning. So we are on to our second attempt, and keeping it out of the barrels is going to be my primary concern. I've just got to make sure that I'm not asking that bit too much of the car. Yeah, we can't quite dart through the gates in the same way that some previous vehicles had. That's not surprising, considering the weight of this car. I mean, we're, what, 600-700 pounds heavier. A lot of the very fastest cars that have gone here have been towards the lower end of the 2000s in terms of weight. So, yeah, it's a much heavier car. We don't have particularly giant front tyres either to help us out. But it's also quite predictable, and I can work with that. I can work with a nice, predictable car through these corners. Yeah, I know that it is going to have that fair amount of understeer, and that if you're a real moron, you will get it sliding. But on the whole, it's happy to be driven, controlled. Again, we're up to that 118 mile an hour mark. This time, though, I was quicker. I could be flat out through that high-speed section and then get slowed down in time, so we didn't go as far wide. Now, comes to the really tight, twisty section up next. Focus on the exit is what we want to do here, because I know I can't really take that change of direction very well, but we can put the power down, and second gear is doing as well at this circuit. Second gear is a nice gear for leaving these corners. We've got enough power and torque to get away with leaving all of these, yeah, pretty much in second, and it's not spinning the wheels up as we go to put the power down, so I can be pretty much flat out of all of these gates. A luxury that I did not get with the Escort. The Escort just wanted to spin and spin and spin. You have to be really careful. This I can be a lot more aggressive in terms of jumping on the power. We will probably go to first through there, because that is quite a slow little change of direction. Now we just have this wiggle towards the line, and I cannot dart my way through here like the little Renault 5 could and the Porsche 914 could, but still going to be good. 207.3. Quite pleased with that. 207.38. It's not a bad time for the big muscle car. Can I find any more? I don't know about that. It's going to be difficult, but a 206 might be doable. Well, it is the final run for the Falcon, and the big question is, can we find 3/4 tenths of a second, get it into the 206s? I think it'll be tough. There were no glaringly obvious areas to improve on from that last run. 207 is a pretty solid time. Let's not forget that. If we can be neat and tidy, that is always very helpful. I think if I can be a little quicker on the way in here, I'm slightly scared of this car. I don't really trust it. That's not bad speed, actually. Don't really trust it with any more speed than that, though. Although the thing is, I do trust it more than the Escort, and certainly more than a few cars I've had through that section. That was about 103 miles an hour through the corner. Yeah, it's 7 or so down on the Miura, but the Escort was barely 100, and that was terrifying and sideways, whereas this has been nice and controlled, although a little bit on the grass. Again, good speed is 119 miles an hour this time, even with a slightly poor exit onto that back straight. It was almost at 120, so this is up there with some of the faster cars we have had, and considering, bear in mind, there have been cars that have weighed about 2,000 pounds and had 400 odd horsepower. This is a damn sight. Yeah, it has got more power and torque than some, but it is still quite a heavy vehicle to get going. It's that sort of section that it doesn't like. It's just not got the change of direction. I was a little bit skew-whiff coming into it. I don't know. We were better at the first part. The second part, I think, has been a little bit down this time out as we head up towards the tunnel. No problem through there. And certainly, if this car does break into oversteer, it is lovely and gradual oversteer. It is not the snap oversteer that we got from the Escort. It is a very gentle starting to slide, and that does make it a lot easier for tackling a course such as this, trying to put the power down as we head up once more to this final section. Can I get any more speed through here? Oh, I don't know if I can really. Going on the throttle as soon as I dare. It's the run towards the line. It's near enough an identical time. Near enough, yeah. I think I made up a little bit of time in the first sector, and then everything I made up I lost a bit on the middle sector. The final sector, I think, was pretty good, but there are 2 runs separated by less than a tenth. That's, yeah, not bad around the autocross course. It's the slow speed stuff that gets it. I think that's the slow speed, the really slow speed bit in the middle sector. I think I was a little bit conky on the way into that, and that just compromised me on the exit and lost a little bit of time there. On that final run, 206, maybe just about doable with his car, probably pushing it a bit to get that. It is pretty well controlled though. On the whole, it's a nice easy car. Once you've got the hang of dealing with the lack of turning, which is something that I'm kind of used to with my vehicles, I can deal with this much better than a very oversteery car. So yeah, once you've dealt with all of that, it is a lovely, easy car, lovely, predictable car to drive pretty damn quickly. You know, let's not forget, 207 is still not a bad time around this course. It will put the car into 31st place. It is a fraction down on the Plymouth Fury, and we are only talking fractions here. This part of the table, there is, what, a second covers 13th to sort of 27th. In fact, 2 seconds, sorry, cover 13th to 42nd. It's a really very, very crowded area of the table. So to be getting into the 207s, the low 207s with this Falcon, it is good going for the car. It beats the RX-7 Buzzbox, it beats the AE86, it beats the Escort Cosworth, the Opel Kadett, it beats the Holden Commodore as well, importantly. It does lose out to the Plymouth Fury, the R32 Skyline Camaro, Z28 Ferrari 355, but we're only talking tenths of a second here and there. It's all very, very little in the way of gaps between the cars. It's, yeah, kind of a little bit as I expected in many ways. Yeah, we have the traction to make the most of the power, quite predictable, although we just lack the overall grip, the agility really through the slower sections, but you can make up some of that at least. Not all of it, but you certainly can make up some of that with the confidence you get being able to put the power down and, yeah, being able to get that acceleration out of some of the slower sections. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.